This is just in, a few hours ago. Vast volcanic superstructure has been found growing in the Pacific Ocean. Running for hundreds of miles along the northeastern ridge of the edge of the Pacific region of Melanesia, the Melanesian Border Plateau is a geological graveyard of dead reefs and failed islands. And you can see it right there in the middle, around Fiji, of course, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands. The feature is one of the countless formations known as large igneous provinces. Such geological superstructures are typically the result of huge volumes of rock bleeding from the endless slide and grind of ocean plate tectonics. Yet the origin of the Melanesian Border Plateau, MBP for short, has long lacked detail. A study by an international team of researchers led by University of Nevada geoscientist Kevin Konrad has now uncovered critical evidence on the Melanesian Border Plateau MBP's formation, which could help us better understand the forces that shape our entire planet. The superstructure covers around 22,000 square kilometers, that's 85,000 square miles, a little less than the area of the UK. Scooping material from its surface is enough to show the plateau is igneous in nature. Its rocky bones consisted of cooled magma, released sometime during the Cretaceous normal superchron, thus about 122 to 83 million years in the past. Let's remember that our Earth has changed size, and the continents, of course, have changed place. Around that time, Antarctica, from what I remember, was up near the equator. You can imagine all this change that has taken place. Now, but mining evidence off the ocean floor is not as easy as scouring for clues on dry land. The scarce minerals dredged up over time have suggested that Melanesia Border MBP's birth was anything but straightforward, with at least 25 distinct volcanic structures responsible for its generation. Had the plateau formed in one massive flood of magma, the environmental consequences would have been profound. So knowing more about the steady growth of this volcanic structure could help us better understand everything from climate change to past extinction events. To discover how the jigsaw puzzle pieces of surrounding trenches and plateaus interacted over time to create MBP, Konrad and his team used previously published data on isotope ratios and other forms of geochemistry taken from the plateau and surrounding formations to model the progress of the crust as it passed over high-temperature plumes in the mantle. Known as hotspots, these intense fountains of heat remain relatively fixed as the crust gradually sails across. The result is a blistering column of magma being forced through weakness in the rock, generating trails of volcanic activity that splutter chains of islands, mountain ridges, and submerged walls of seamounts, underwater volcanoes. Putting the pieces together, a vaguely located plume known as the Louisville hotspot, somewhere in the South Pacific, laid the MBP's foundations back when dinosaurs still roamed around 120 million years ago, oozing out a torrent of magma that created what's known as Robbie Ridge, along with a few other surrounding seamounts. Some 45 million years later, the same weakening section of crust met with a second region known as the Rurutu-Arago hotspot, which saw the rise of new islands and seamounts. Time would drag these back into the depths, yet their roots contributed to the plateau structure. A third hotspot, responsible for what is now the Samoan Islands, would reactivate the formation of seamounts and islands and deliver a new round of volcanic activity some 20 million years ago. To this day, colossal forces deforming the crust, in part delivered by the rollback of the Pacific plate beneath the Tonga Trench, continue to shape the superstructure in a process that shows just how complex the formation of large igneous provinces can be. The team refers to these hypothetical swells of crust as ocean mid-plate superstructures, oceanic mid-plate superstructures. Knowing just one of such superstructures can emerge in pulses as weakened crust sails across tempests anchored in the mantle suggests that others might have been formed in similar ways, building slowly and silently rather than in cataclysmic eruptions. Finding them is going to take new voyages of discovery, sampling the midnight depths of the other traces of Earth's hotspots, leaving their scars on the surface. This research was published in Earth and Planetary Science Letters, and it's on Science Alert by Mike McRae. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.